Good evening, everyone. It is now 5 o'clock and we will begin tonight's.
Hold on, not ready yet.
I'm sorry, the little meeting up there. I'm sorry.
Okay, we are live.
Good evening, everyone. It is 5 o'clock and it is time to start the school board meeting. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Opportunities for public participation will be permitted in accordance with policy 167.3. And if you will all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the
of the
United
United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
And justice for all. Thank you.
I think we got a little delay.
Just a little. Paula, did we have anyone signed up to speak?
We did not.
Okay, so we will go out of the public comment section and go into the consent agenda.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you all coming together this evening at 5 o'clock for a special board meeting. We don't have a lot of these, of course, except for very special circumstances. And in the time that we find ourselves, we thought this would be a really good way to maybe lift some spirits and shine some light on some things that we're excited about for our community and for our students. And so very pleased to announce some administration and some coaching positions tonight. And so the first thing that I want to do is turn things over to Jeremy Ogden. Jeremy, I don't see you on my screen. Are you there?
He's here.
Okay, Jeremy, I'm here. To you, if you could speak maybe a little bit about the process and where we landed, and if you could introduce our Martinsville High School girls basketball coach.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. We are excited to introduce Mr. Dave Dorsett as our new varsity girls basketball coach. It was an extensive process that we went through, and I'll also speak to that about Mr. Our new football coach as well. But extensive process. We had an interview committee that was made up of administration, school board members, and also someone from the community who had some ties to football and just the community or to basketball, excuse me. And Dave really stood out and he was the number one choice. So just a little bit about Dave. Dave has spent 36 years in coaching. He's came to Martinsville in 2012 as our boys freshman coach and varsity assistant. In 2016, he was a varsity girls assistant. And then from 2018 to 2020, he's been a part of the program. So we are excited to have Mr. Dave Dorsett kind of continue what has already been established with the girls program. And we're excited to have him hit the ground running and be good to go. Coach Dorsett, would you like to share a few words?
Yeah, I just want to, first of all, I want to thank everyone for this opportunity. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm very humbled. I'm very, very excited. It's hit me like a ton of bricks. It was not something that I was expecting. It's something that I've dreamed about ever since I started coaching, and just super, super, super excited to take this girls program. And as you said, hit the ground running. I know the girls fairly well. I think we have some great opportunities here at Martinsville High School to take it to that next level. We won 20 games at the JV level last year, 20 games at the varsity level, and that's a lot of games to win. There's obviously no promises on what that record is going to be, and I think coaching goes way beyond that record. It's the teaching, it's the student athletes that you are trying to take to that next level, as not as just as athletes, but in the classroom as well as just life aspects. And I am very, very humbled to be that leader to help those young ladies get to where they want to be in life, as well on the floor as off of the floor. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't, there's not words that can fathom what the feelings are I'm having as far as being able to accept this job, but just thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
Dave, thank you. We appreciate that. At this time, I'd like to ask the board for a recommendation, or sorry, ask them for a motion to recommend Dr. Mr. Dave Dorsett. I just called you Dr. David.
I thought maybe I was getting ready to be the superintendent. Let's stop right there. I don't want that job.
Mr. Dave Dorsett as our girls basketball coach.
All right. Sorry, but these littles are just so cute. I want them on all the time. If I could please ask for a motion to accept Mr. Dave Dorsett as the girls' head basketball coach, please.
I make a motion that we accept Mr. Dave Dorsett as the girls basketball coach at Martinsville High School.
Is there?
I will second that.
Thank you. That has been moved. A motion made by Dave Reinhardt and seconded by Steve Brock. We will now do a roll call vote. Debbie?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Myself, Michelle. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to ask if there was any discussion. My apologies. Did anyone have anything?
Just want to say congratulations and welcome, Dave.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Dorsett.
Thank you very much.
Coach Dorsett, congratulations and welcome aboard.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So next item on our list is our varsity head coach position. And I'm going to turn things back over to Mr. Ogden again to announce our varsity football coach.
Thank you, Dr. Arthur. I am excited to announce Mr. Brian Duggar from Southport High School. Mr. Duggar came highly recommended from everyone that we spoke to. He's been an assistant there for 13 years. He spent the last 7 years as offensive coordinator. They compiled a 53-24 record, 2 sectional titles. And I think one of the biggest things that not only he did, but Dave did as well, is they developed players. He spent a lot of time talking about how he's going to take our current athletes and make them even better, not only on the football field, but also in the classroom. And Dave did the same thing. So I want to kind of tie those two things together. They're all about high character people and making sure that everyone does the right thing, not only in the classroom, on the football field, but also in the community. So Mr. Duggar, congratulations. We are excited, and I'll turn it over back to Ms. Michelle Ball.
All right, thank you. Can I please have a motion for Mr. Brian Duggar to be the varsity head football coach?
I'd like to make a motion to name Mr. Brian Duggar as the head football coach at Martinsville High School.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Motion has been made by Debbie Lips and seconded by Don Lips. Is there any discussion?
Congratulations and welcome.
Welcome aboard, Coach.
We will
Coach
now.
Duggar, would you like to say a few words?
Well, don't mind the circus going on here, but this is the Duggar family, and they're a big part of this reason, and we're really excited for this opportunity. We're very blessed and fortunate, obviously, with our family, but you know, a town like Martinsville is a great place to call home. I'm so excited, and I know that's come off with my conversations with everyone so far, that I just can't wait to get going and kind of get to know these young men and help them become better young men and just kind of help take Martinsville football to the next step. And we are beyond excited as a family, and you get the whole package here. So
We'll take it.
Right.
Coach, we welcome you to Martinsville. Friday nights are wonderful at Ciderwich Field, so ought to be a great time. That, when we go on the road, we take a big crowd with us.
We will
I
now.
think I'm sorry, Michelle, go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I said, I started to say, I think we got a vote to take now, don't we?
We do have a roll call
Get it
vote
official.
to make it official. Yes, we do. We'll now do the roll call vote. Debbie,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
and myself. Yes, a motion carries. Congratulations, Coach Duggar. We're excited to have you.
Congratulations.
thank you very much. We're very excited as well.
Congratulations, Coach.
So next item on our agenda for consent items, we would like to introduce the next dean of Bell Intermediate Academy. I want to give a little history before I turn things over to Jeremy. For those of you that I'm certain probably know, Jeremy moved over, Mr. Ogden moved over to the CEC earlier this year, which sort of started several pieces moving in the district. And so it created an opening at Bell Intermediate, which we filled at the last board meeting for principal. Ryan Sutterloff became the principal of the building after sort of running him through the ringer, as we do all of our candidates. And then we, I think Mrs. Hammonds could speak to here in a second, we ran her through the ringer a little bit because when we interview individuals, and whether they're internal or external, we expect this for them to present and put forth the same effort and share their ideals and be very transparent about where they would like to take things in terms of their building. And so we held interviews recently, and I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy to kind of talk about that process and where we landed.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Arthur. So had an interview committee, just like we always do. And we brought back 2 candidates. And after some extensive conversations and just really going back and forth, we felt that Mrs. Hammonds was the best candidate for the position. Like Dr. Arthur said, we always want to make sure that we stack up our best against anybody else's best. And she definitely rose to the occasion. So I think the one thing that, knowing the building very well, I'm excited for her to be able to step in and support Mr. Sutterloff as he continues great things at Bell. Teachers, families, students spoke very highly of Mrs. Hammonds, and just excited. It's always hard to be part of the process when you're hiring someone that, you know, you kind of been here for 3 years and you really want to see that success continue, and she's going to do great things. So congratulations, Mrs. Hammonds. We're excited to have you continue what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask the board to entertain a motion to accept our recommendation for Brandy to become the next dean of Bell Intermediate.
I would like to ask for a motion for Mrs. Brandy Hammonds to become the dean at Bell Intermediate Academy, please.
I move that we, yeah, the motion as presented.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Motion has been made by Steve Brock and seconded by Debbie Lips. Is there any discussion?
I just want to say welcome, Brandy. I see somebody I know sitting there with you. Hi, Trista. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
The former Centerton firecracker. So I've known Brandy for a long time, and I'm so excited about her role that she's going to have at Bell. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm excited.
Congratulations,
Well,
Brandy.
I know they're missing you at Wooden. Many great things have been said about you at Wooden, so I'm excited for that to be carried over to Bell.
Thank you very much. I'm excited. I look forward to continuing building relationships with the staff and the families and the students at Bell. And my time was cut short with all of this going on, so I really look forward to getting back into the building and being around everybody again.
Us too.
We will now do a roll call vote. Debbie?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Myself? Yes. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Brandy.
Thank you.
I think that deserves some ice cream, kiddos.
Aw, thank you very much. All right, Michelle, other business? Okay, if we shift
Other
over.
business. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's
Hey,
okay.
these littles get on here and I
I know.
concentrate.
So other business, we have one other topic that we want to talk about tonight. As you may recall from the last board meeting, Mr. Buckler was began to discuss some curriculum materials. And so because of honestly COVID and things just kind of slowing everything down in the world, we weren't able to have everything quite together for the board meeting. But this special meeting offered the opportunity for us to get this in front of you and give you guys a chance to look at the materials and for us to potentially ask you all for a vote this evening. So I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Buckler, and if you could kind of speak to what the board has in their packet and what you'd like for them to consider.
So good evening, everyone. I provided for you kind of the timeline of the process that we used for the textbook adoption. What we're talking about is adopting the English language arts textbooks for grades 5 through 12. And so in the materials that I provided, and I apologize, I don't have those in front of me working from home. I'm just on the small screen, but basically outlined for you the process that started in January. I stated at our last meeting that Jenny Oakley was a huge help with this as far as the coordinating. And it really worked at all three buildings at different levels, different groups of people. I think we came to a really good consensus decision. And so the recommendation is to adopt Pearson, and that will be the same textbook series, grades 5 through 12. It includes some professional learning for the teachers as well, that we will actually, I'll shoot the email off either this evening or tomorrow morning to the textbook representative to be able to get everything in order. What I thought was really powerful through this process was that the teachers identified really the power in having the same series from each of the three schools, so that for our students, it'll be a seamless transition as they move from the intermediate building to the middle school and then to the high school.
What about the elementary? I mean,
Yeah, I was going to ask that
not
too.
down to the elementary level, or how is the transition going to be for the elementary to go into Bell, Wooden?
So the elementary schools adopted before BC, before Craig, so before I came, and they are using McGraw-Hill materials. There was always a natural break between the elementaries and the intermediate school. And to be perfectly honest, that was part of our conversation. Should the 5th grade be still connected to what was going on in the elementary buildings, or should they go ahead and jump to what was going on with the secondary? The 5th grade materials will look a little bit different because as things are packaged, and this was the same actually for all three of the textbook companies that we looked at, 5th grade really still falls underneath the elementary umbrella. But the 5th grade teachers feel confident that they'll be able to kind of pick up where the boys and girls were from the elementary, and then get them ready to pass them along to 6th grade and then on to the middle school and the high school.
I see that Bell liked McGraw-Hill first and then Pearson. So they must be pretty similar then, you know, for them to have that as their top two.
I think so. And Debbie, I think quite honestly, and you've experienced textbook adoptions over your time as in education, sometimes what my experience has been, it boils down to what kind of stories are in each of the series.
Yeah.
And so the really great part of this process was the conversation between each of the buildings. There was also a little bit, I'll use dispute loosely, at Wooden. The 7th grade teachers and the 8th grade teachers had to kind of come to a consensus because they each were looking at a different series as their #1 choice. But overall, I was so thrilled that the group just decided that overall what best meets everybody's needs was Pearson. And so, and it was in the top 2 for every one of the groups.
Oh, good. Good. It's exciting.
Other questions that anybody has? Fantastic.
Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. I just want to add one additional comment. I know, you know, when I believe the prices, those kinds of things are part of that packet, and it's a little bit of a sticker shock thing, but that's normal. You have to think these products are typically have a 6-year lifespan. And so you're spreading that out over 6 years, plus textbook tuition, some of the reimbursement that comes from the state. So that's not completely absorbed by the district, not completely absorbed by a student. That gets spread out across a lot of different pots of money to pay for, but that's a pretty normal expense anytime we adopt new curriculum materials. I'd like to ask if the board would entertain a motion to approve Pearson as the product for grades 5 through 12. Did I get the grades right, Craig? Grades 5 through 12?
Yes, you did. 5 through 12.
I would like to ask for a motion to approve the reading material from Pearson for grades 5 through 12, please.
I make a motion that we accept the proposal from Dr. Buckler on regards to Pearson's 5 through 12 in our school system.
Is there a second?
I second.
Motion was made by Dave Reinhardt and seconded by Debbie Lips. She beat you by a hair, Dawn. I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? We'll now do a roll call vote. Debbie,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Steve, Steve,
I'm sorry, I had my mic on mute. Yes.
and Dawn,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Motion carries. We will
Thanks,
now go
Greg.
into the, thank you for all your hard work and for everyone on that. Thank you so much. Next, we will go into the superintendent comments.
I just have one really quick comment. I know I always have lots of things to say, but tonight it's going to be short and sweet. Our family should expect some communication tomorrow regarding some of the special things that we intend to do for our students who we're missing a great deal right now. So actually I have two things, and so that will be coming tomorrow. So we'll be sharing some information. And additionally, I just want to bring up the fact that we have Teacher Appreciation Week coming. And I want to just say for the record, this is an odd time, and we have really asked our teachers to stretch to the extreme, basically turning from their classroom to an experience of being a virtual online instructor, which is not something you do overnight. College professors take years to be able to do that with their content. So we have asked a lot, the whole state has asked a lot, the country's asked a lot of teachers. And so I just want to make sure that they know that we really greatly appreciate them, particularly during this tough time. And we know that they're trying to not only teach kids, but also take care of, in many cases, their own children in their house and all the things that are going on. So we appreciate that from our teachers. And I wanted to put that out there because I know typically we try to do some celebratory things, and given the situation that we're in, we probably will not be able to do some of those things at this time. That doesn't mean that we don't appreciate you, and it doesn't mean that we won't try to make up for that a little down the road once we're all able to be back together. So again, thank you to our teachers and our staff in general, but particularly during Teacher Appreciation Week next week. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Arthur. Before I make a motion to adjourn, I just want to thank and congratulate again Coach Dorsett, Coach Duggar, and Mrs. Hammonds. In a time of uncertainty, you've given us something to smile about tonight and days to come and weeks to come. So I just thank you so much for that. It really is great to be an Artesian. I'm glad you are all three Artesians, and just welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion was made by Steve Brock and seconded by Dave Reinhardt. Is there any discussion? I'll do the roll call vote. Debbie?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, guys.